everybody. It's Teepa and Rachel, and we're back for another one of those questions you guys asked. And boy, is this one a whopper, and not an easy one, might be added. So, Rachel, go ahead and set us up. Need a drink first. Right. Let me get my drink. I'm going to start with water. I may need to switch to coffee. Let's see. Go ahead. Give it to me.
Maybe some deep breaths. So this one has to do with how do you advocate for somebody who is living in a residential care facility? Because we know that they're often understaffed, and now they're like overstaffed. Understaffed is almost an overstatement. Like it's way, way understaffed. So what's reasonable to expect, and how do we advocate in a way that makes sense?
Okay. So, it's complicated, and this is not going to be an easy answer. So my very first one is, when you came in, what did they say was going to be what you could expect? So I think it's important from the very beginning, before I bring somebody into a system, to ask, okay, so I'm curious, tell me what it is I can expect about number of hours of care, frequency of care, who's going to be providing care, when the care is delivered versus when the person identifies or that we notice that the care might be needed. So for instance, if someone is not able to manage their continence, and we need to manage incontinence, how long after somebody is wet or has had become incontinent could we expect for that to be dealt with on day shift, on evening shift, and at night? And so I would get weekend. I would get fairly specific coming in. If I'm knowledgeable enough, I would want to use what I know to ask some questions coming in, so that they tell me what I can expect. And I would make notes of it, and I'd double check it. So what I hear you saying is, your pattern and your practice is I should be able to expect that someone who is incontinent would be, that incontinence would be addressed on a regular basis, that there is either the person is assisted or checked, but for sure, no longer than 15 minutes or a half hour or whatever it is would go by before something was attempted. Now, what word did I use there? Attempted. What am I saying from the outset, Rachel? Because I'm pretty skilled. I'm pretty knowledgeable. What do I want to not set my expectations up as?
I think there's a huge difference between attempt to do something and that you never walk in and see them wet, for instance. Right. So that would not be a reasonable expectation. But the fact that they had tried would be.
So my language, I want to make sure that in my language from the very beginning, I'm not setting them up to be task focused versus person focused, because I want them to be changed within a half hour. Then we're focusing just on the task. And that's not something I use in advocacy, because that's not advocacy that I would be able to support, because I need to know the why. If they did attempt and we're still having trouble, then we have a different issue of, okay, so you attempted and was it successful or not? So this becomes then a curiosity, like what happened that didn't happen? And, every 2 hours we check, and it's like, so tell me what that means, because, the smarter I am coming into this, every 2 hours we check. Does that mean I ask the person, do you need to go to the bathroom, or are you wet? Because if they say, well, every 2 hours we check, and I say, well, how do you check? And they say, well, we ask if they need to go to the bathroom or if they need to be assisted with incontinence. What is that telling me already, Rachel, coming in? Because you're pretty smart too.
I was going to say, not with someone living with dementia, not when they're in
So my brain should go, okay, so for some reason they're thinking that verbal communication is going to work. So that says to me, wow, okay, my advocacy may need to shift gears, and I may need to set a priority. And the priority is I need to figure out what they actually know about dementia for the person that I'm trying to advocate for. So if I have somebody who's continent, able to do things, and what I'm asking for is different for them to have a life that has value and purpose, but I got to set a priority. And the better I can do my homework before somebody comes into the system, whatever that location is, the more I have a handle on what am I looking at realistically. And if somebody's telling you, oh yeah, no, people do not stay wet in our building. Well, then it's like, okay, wow, that's a lot of emphasis, because tell me, when you say stay wet, tell me more. But I believe advocacy starts with curiosity. And I want to find out whether people, like they're really blowing smoke and they really know that that's not what happens. Or they really do think, because sometimes the people who, provide you with, this will be a great place for your dad, aren't the people who are doing care on a regular basis. And so they're in one space and they may or may not be really super knowledgeable about dementia and progression and symptoms. So my mom needs X. So I'm really curious how that's handled. So set a couple of priorities and then find out from the front person, the person who's trying to get you to come in or has you invited in, what it is you can expect. And then that would be something that I'd want to actually have available.